Have you ever wondered what happens in the final moments of life? For centuries, this has been one of humanity's greatest mysteries. But what if the people who have been there and come back hold the key, diving deep into the incredible, consistent, and often baffling accounts of near-death experiencers? These aren't just stories. They're first-hand reports from the very edge of existence, and what they reveal might just change the way you see life, death, and everything in between. Let's start with one of the most surprising and widely reported sensations: an overwhelming, profound sense of peace. Imagine a soldier on a battlefield, moments away from death due to severe injuries. You'd expect terror, agony, chaos. Yet, in his account, he described a sudden, complete stillness. The pain vanished, the fear evaporated, and in its place, a tranquility so deep it was beyond anything he'd ever felt. This isn't a unique story. From car crash survivors to patients on the operating table, the first thing many report is not darkness or fear, but a wave of absolute calm and well-being. It's as if the soul is being gently detached from the physical suffering of the body, cocooned in a feeling of pure love and safety. They describe it as a peace that passeth all understanding, a state of being where everything is okay and everything will be okay. This initial transition seems to be a universal comfort, a final, gentle gift. As this profound peace settles in, conscienza often detaches from the physical body. This is the classic out-of-body experience. People report floating above their own bodies, observing the scene below with a strange sense of detachment. They see doctors working frantically, loved ones weeping, but they feel no emotional or physical connection to the body on the bed. They describe it like watching a movie. One woman recounted seeing a specific nurse drop a small instrument and kick it under a cabinet. Later, after being revived, she told the nurse exactly where to find it, stunning the entire medical team. Another man described floating up through the hospital floors, seeing his family in the waiting room, and even noticing a single red shoe on the roof of the building. These details, later verified, are incredibly difficult to explain. How can someone whose brain shows no signs of activity perceive and remember verifiable facts from a perspective outside their physical body? It's a powerful challenge to our understanding of consciousness, suggesting it might not be confined to the brain at all. After this initial detachment, the journey often takes a turn towards the iconic image we all know, the tunnel of light. But experiencers are quick to point out that this description barely scratches the surface. It's not like a subway tunnel or a simple light at the end of a dark passage. They describe it as a living, dynamic gateway. The light itself is described as more brilliant than the sun, yet it doesn't hurt the eyes. Instead, it pulls you in with an irresistible sense of love and familiarity. Many say the light is not just a destination, but a presence, a conscious, intelligent, and infinitely loving being. They feel known, understood, and unconditionally accepted. One person said, "It was like coming home to a place I'd forgotten I was from." This light isn't a cold, distant star. It's a personal, warm embrace, the ultimate feeling of belonging. The journey through this tunnel is often described as moving at an incredible speed, yet feeling timeless. As they approach this brilliant light, another incredible phenomenon occurs. They begin to see figures waiting for them. These aren't strangers. They are deceased loved ones. A woman who had a heart attack saw her grandmother, who had passed away years ago, looking radiant and healthy, waiting with open arms. A man saw his best friend who had died in an accident, smiling and waving. What's fascinating is that these figures often appear as they were in the prime of their life, full of health and vitality. They don't usually speak, but communication happens telepathically. The message is always one of love, reassurance, and welcome. "It's not your time yet," they might convey, or simply, "We're here for you when it is." In some cases, people see relatives they never knew, or who died before they were born, and only later recognize them from old family photographs. Some even report seeing beloved pets who had passed away, waiting for them with the same unconditional love they showed in life. This reunion is a powerful, emotionally charged part of the experience, a confirmation that the bonds of love are not broken by death. Beyond relatives, many also report the presence of what they can only describe as angelic beings or guides. These beings of light often stand silently at the threshold, radiating immense love and protection. They act as guardians or ushers, helping the soul navigate this new reality. They don't have wings or halos in the classic sense. They are often perceived as pure, beautiful forms of light and energy. Their presence is calming, and their purpose seems to be to guide the soul and, in many cases, to facilitate a pivotal moment in the journey, the life review. This isn't a judgment. It's a panoramic 3D replay of their entire life, but with a crucial difference. They don't just see their actions. They experience them from the perspective of every person they ever interacted with. They feel the joy they brought to others, and the pain they caused, not as a punishment, but as a lesson. A man who was often unkind in his business dealings suddenly felt the hurt and disappointment of those he had wronged. Conversely, a woman relived a small, forgotten moment of kindness, giving her lunch to a homeless person, and was flooded with the warmth and gratitude the person felt. The entire purpose of this review, guided by the being of light, is understanding. It's about seeing the ripple effects of every choice, every word, every action. The overwhelming message is that love, kindness, and compassion are the only things that truly matter, the only things with lasting value. Now, this is where it gets particularly fascinating. Many of these accounts, from people all over the world, with different beliefs or no religious background at all, share details that are strikingly similar to specific theological concepts, particularly within Catholic teachings. They describe a state of being where they must be purified or cleansed before entering the full presence of the light, a concept that mirrors the idea of purgatory. They talk about the importance of love and good works, the existence of spiritual beings like angels and guides, and a final, loving judgment based on a life of love. One atheist professor who had a near-death experience was shocked to find his journey aligned almost perfectly with a spiritual framework he had rejected his entire life. He came back with a completely new understanding of the universe, convinced that what he experienced was more real than his physical life. The consistency of these themes across cultures and belief systems is one of the most compelling arguments that these are not just hallucinations. They are glimpses into a reality that awaits us all. Of course, not everyone who has a near-death experience goes to the light. A small but significant number of people report distressing or hellish experiences. They describe a cold, dark void, a sense of confusion, isolation, and sometimes even torment from other lost souls. However, many who have these experiences report that it's not a permanent state. They often describe being given a choice or crying out for help and being rescued by a being of light. These accounts, while frightening, also carry a message of hope that even from the darkest places, a call for love and light can be answered. It suggests that our state of mind and the love in our hearts play a crucial role in where we go. So what do we make of all this? Science has tried to explain these phenomena as the result of a dying brain, a lack of oxygen, or a flood of endorphins. But these explanations fall short. They don't account for the verifiable, out-of-body observations. They don't explain why a person with no brain activity can have the most vivid, life-altering experience of their existence. And they certainly don't explain the profound and lasting transformation that follows. People who have had near-death experiences almost universally lose their fear of death. They come back with a renewed sense of purpose, a deep conviction that love is the central principle of the universe, and a desire to live more compassionately. They are forever changed. The accounts of those who have stood at the threshold of death and returned offer us not a fearful end, but a hopeful transition. A journey from physical pain to profound peace, from isolation to a reunion with loved ones, and from confusion to a deep understanding of life's true purpose. It suggests that death is not an annihilation, but a homecoming, a doorway, not a dead end. Whether you view these stories through a lens of faith, science, or simple human curiosity, they invite us to live better, love more fully, and to perhaps look toward the future with a little less fear and a lot more wonder. Thank you so much for joining me on this incredible journey today. If these stories resonated with you, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest questions of our existence. Until next time, stay curious.